Thank you. And also welcome from my side. I like to focus today a little bit more on the perspective of, really the enterprise benefits, and especially around the situation today. So I actually like to focus on reality. So not speaking so much about what is doable in the future, but really speaking about what is doable already today and what, for example, some of our customers are doing and achieving already today by applying wearable computing and augmented reality to their day-to-day business. Maybe a couple of words on myself. I'm CEO and one of the co-founders of a company called Ubimax. We're entirely focusing on wearable computing solutions and augmented reality for the enterprise space. So when we speak about solutions, it's all about productive deployments. It's not about proof of concepts or short, small pilots. It's all about rollouts and productive use in day-to-day business. I've been in the field of wearables and AR now for 16 years, so obviously started off in academia and research, spent a hell lot of time on looking into user interfaces, how to design them so that you get the best out of them, especially for enterprise use cases. Let me start off a little bit with, let's say, the past and the present on AR. And when we look into AR today, and especially in the past, what we see is basically tablet PCs and smartphones overlaying reality with digital content, right? When I'm looking at AR in this context, I'm actually referring to this more like augmented video, because it is actually taking the video feed, which is then digitalized, and adds on top additional digital information on the tablet PC, which is fine, which is good, but it has especially one important drawback for the enterprise space, and that is you need your hands to hold the device. Now, if you look into smart glasses and the potential that those smart glasses can give you as the enterprise customer, there is obviously today, we've seen that and heard that, and we will hear this throughout the entire show. There are, the monocular ones and the binocular ones. The monocular ones are, from the technological point of view, reasonable complex. If it gets to HoloLens and others, there's a hell lot of more complexity, a hell lot of more sensors in those kind of devices. But what are the benefits? Actually, what are the key benefits behind this type of technology for the enterprise space? And to me, there are four core elements that you can derive the benefits from. The most easiest and most powerful one is you have your hands free while wearing the device. It's not so much about the AR content that you can bring on top of these devices. It's really about being hands-free and having a wearing concept of those kind of wearables that is very well known to each and everybody. Even wearing sunglasses or something, people know how to wear glasses. And then obviously, since this is wearing the glasses on the head, you get into the position that you kind of can seamlessly integrate digital information into the field of view of the workers here. And then eventually, you can add even more digital information by superimposing digital information on reality. And that is then, by the end of the day, augmented reality using see-through technology, especially the ones with binocular displays. Now, what is the best case? I don't want to go into all the details around what are the best use cases and scenarios, because we've heard that in the past. The thing is, basically the opportunity and the potential use cases are almost endless. I just picked a couple of them where we see right now the best maturity to make use cases become real. And that is, those use cases typically reside in logistics, manufacturing, and field services. And there is also a big advantage of this kind of technology in the healthcare industry and so on and so forth. The question, though, is, and we had that also in previous talks, what is the right device for my use case? And actually, there is not the right device for your use cases. In fact, today, what we see at our customers is the right device for productive deployments are the ones that are working and that are reliable and that you can handle in terms of the technical complexity. And those are clearly today monocular ones, for example, in logistics, but also in manufacturing, in field service. You have to take care and wonder whether devices like Google Glass, if you're outside, whether color contrast and all these kind of things, given the characteristics of the technology, meet your requirements. But there's also another dimension. Whenever you see the market evolving from the display from monocular to binocular, there's definitely an increase in complexity of the devices in all the use cases that you're implementing. If you're going for the see-through AR, the full-blown stuff, mixed reality, then this comes at a price. It basically comes at cost because you not only have to manage the complexity of the hardware, but obviously also the complexity of the software, not to forget the content itself. Take logistics as an example. Logistics is a highly dynamic environment, and still they are very cost sensitive because they are running a low margin business. So if you want to deploy devices like HoloLens, which costs $3,000 and more maybe, just the hardware, typically the business case for the enterprise is, at least today, hard to calculate or almost impossible. But with monocular devices, like from Vuzix or Glass, you can come up with great business cases that prove real value. And I'd like to show you a couple of those from our customers. Who is already today deploying these kind of solutions? And we lined them up along the industrial value chain, starting in materials management and logistics, over production quality assurance, and then to field service and maintenance. You see a couple of our customers. Those are probably some logos that you're familiar with. And the question is, why are they using the technology today? And what are they getting in terms of the benefits? And the benefits that they're getting are quite substantial and significant for the industry. Take logistics. They get a lot better work performance. But also in addition, they get a way better usability in their processes. So for the end user, the technology gets very well received because, as simple as that, the worker's hands are free, for example, in order picking in this case. The same is true in manufacturing. We had this with step-by-step instructions. You can also use that for training purposes, hook that up to sensors in the environment that you have on your assembly lines, and not to mention also in the field service. So we have solutions out in the market. Basically, we have an entire, how we call it, enterprise wearable suite consisting basically of 4 products, which all start with this X, from XPick to X Assist. And I actually like to show you a couple of our customers' videos to really get you some tangible insights on how it looks today when they deployed the solutions, 8-hour shifts, 24/7, these kind of things, with all the necessary infrastructure around that. Let me start with DHL and Logistics for its customer Ricoh. They are deploying, and they deployed the XPick solution of us in the enterprise space. They did that with monocular glasses, and what you see here is really reality. So this is how the use case works. It is assisted reality. It's not the see-through full-blown one. What we're doing here, though, is we're working with abstract representations of reality, because augmenting reality is so difficult and hard to achieve with the current technology. And we changed the process, taking graphical user interfaces into account, turning the camera into a hands-free barcode scanner, and achieved more than 25% performance increase as compared to their as-is scenarios, which is constantly improved. Not only that, we got positive, very positive user feedback on this, even to the stage where the workers were saying, hey, using this kind of tech, that was the first time I ever had fun doing my work. Because it makes it so easy. And last but not least, due to this great success, DHL decided to scale these solutions and roll it out globally to the States, to Europe, and also to Asia. This is where DHL is currently working with us on scaling this kind of solutions. Now, here's another one from Samsung. And that one shows that it is not only about the smart glass, but if you're talking wearables and enterprise, it is really about the mixture of combining different devices. Like in this case, obviously we have smart glasses integrated, but we have external barcode scanners. And there's even smartwatches integrated, just to make the entire process as easy and usable for the users. You see, again, we're working with abstract visualizations of reality, really mapping this, but not overlaying reality due to the complexity behind that. And what they got is, again, the same ballpark in terms of performance improvement, 22 in this. And even here, with the integration with the smartwatches, for example, used for check digits and confirmations, they could reduce error rate by a substantial number of 10%. And based on these requirements, they kind of went all in. So they equipped their entire warehouse in the Netherlands with this kind of technology. So everybody now is running with wearable computing technology around and doing the order picking stuff. When you look into manufacturing and assembly, this is one of our customers deploying the XMake system. And the challenge there is low-skilled workers, classical assembly processes. What we did together with them is equipping the assembly line with sensors, PLCs, in this counting scales and everything, so that we had a combination of step-by-step guidance, which was used throughout the assembly process, but also before in the training procedures. And what they achieved is they went down to 0 errors. They are in the automotive supply, so they are supplying components to the automotive industry, and the 0 error is a big plus because it simply saved them a hell of a lot of dollars because it prevents basically paying penalties. Training effort was significantly reduced. It was even at one of their new openings of one of their sites, they had people coming in, basically their customers, doing the assembly with this kind of technology, and they had no errors in their components after that. And it is a competitive advantage to them. This is actually a small and medium company, and they won for now 5 new contracts just because they could prove that they have a very, very good quality assurance system. Last but not least, we had this remote assistance. It's definitely the most easiest business case you can calculate using wearable computing equipment. Here you have this classical, you see what I see thing that they're using. This is actually a smart home company in Germany. So they're using this, having this remote assistance thing with all sorts of features, starting from web-based applications so that you can simply show and highlight certain things. But then there are also some augmented reality features in there so that they can point at a marker somewhere in the picture, like there, and then the marker stays exactly at the same position, no matter whether the person looks somewhere else. And what they achieved, obviously, significantly better field service operations. They reduced their system downtimes, again, significantly for them. And last not least, they saved a lot of money due to travel, which is not only highly appreciated by their organization because it is good for profit, but it is also highly appreciated by the customers because time to fix the problem is just reduced by a number significantly. Now, let's sum it up. So what are the key benefits for the enterprise if you're going with wearables? Basically 3 different things. You get better productivity, basically due to the fact that you have your both hands free for real-world tasks, as simple as that. And obviously, you can seamlessly blend digital information into reality. But also, there is an improved quality that we see in all of our projects due to the graphical user interface and its capabilities around that. And last not least, there is so much higher flexibility in the overall setup. So because if you're a wearable, all technology is basically on body. The only thing that you need in the environment is connectivity, and that is always there in most of the scenarios because you have Wi-Fi connectivity. Nothing else needs to be changed, and this is quite important for the enterprise space because once you want to deploy these kind of things, you need to make sure that you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars or thousands or $10,000s of dollars just to prepare your environment for these kind of new technology. Thank you for your attention, and yeah, if there are questions, I'm happy to answer one or two.
Great, thanks. Yeah, we have just